An exuberant morning to one and all present here. I'm Adila Mohsen, and I welcome you all to yet another lecture in the NET JRF lecture series organized by the Eklavya Club of the Department of English, I.E.H.E. Today's lecture is on the neoclassical age, and for our lecture, we have with us today Dr. Mukhtar Ahmad sir. Sir has been a part of the Department of English since 2017. He completed his MPhil from DAVV Indore and his PhD from BU Bhopal. Sir has published more than 20 papers in various national and international journals, and he has also presented 6 papers in seminars and conferences. Along with this, Sir has also authored 2 books related to English literature, namely English Literature at a Glance and Poems on English Literature. With this, I welcome you, sir, to our lecture, and I request you to begin with it.
Good morning, all. Today, we have the neoclassical age in English literature. First of all, I would like to say we must know what classical is. Then we will come to neoclassical. Classical literature is the literature of ancient Greece and Rome. The term usually is called classical because it is used for literature of any language in a period. The literature must be excellent and it must have the quality of endurance. The work must stand the test of the time. Suppose you take Oedipus Rex. Still, the grandeur is there. So we can call it classical. Or Arkenarine's The Guide, which is also called classical novel. Neoclassicism is generally regarded the rebirth of classical style in art and architecture. So neoclassicism is generally what the rebirth. It is the birth again of classical style, especially in art, and art includes literature as well. The prefix added here is neo, which means modern or new, and the root word represents ancient Greek and Roman style. Neoclassical literature was written between 1660 1798. So it's almost 138 years, a long period. The time period is broken down into 3 parts. The Restoration period, 1660 1700. The Augustan period, 1700 1745. The Age of Johnson, 1750 1798. Writers of this period imitated the style of Romans and Greeks. The Restoration period in England lasted from 1660 to 1688, though some say that it is almost 1700. Next slide. Yes. The Restoration period marked the return of Stuart monarchy to England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland after Commonwealth period of over Oliver Cromwell. So Stuart monarchy here returned to the reign. They started ruling again, Stuarts, because from 1649 to 1660, Oliver Cromwell was the man in power. He was a lieutenant general and a parliamentary commander during the British Civil Wars and became Lord Protector. Lord Protector is one who takes over in the absence of government. There are some other informative sentences about Oliver Cromwell. And Oliver Cromwell was especially Puritan. Why he was Puritan? Because at the age of 21, he married Elizabeth Bourchier, daughter of wealthy merchant family. It is because of this influence he might have turned to be uh, Puritan. As one of the generals of parliamentary side in English Civil War against King Charles I, Cromwell helped to bring about overthrow of the Stuart monarchy, and as a Lord Protector, he raised the country's status once more to the leading European power from the decline it had gone through. So he is very much an influential figure as far as politics of England is concerned. Cromwell defeated Charles II at the Battle of Worcester on 3rd September 1651, and Charles fled to the mainland Europe. Actually, this period of Cromwell, it is 1649 to 1660. Next, yes, neoclassical age ended with the coming to the stage of Wordsworth when he published lyrical ballads, which is one of the main manifestos of romantic revival or romantic age. This age is named after Samuel Johnson or Dr. Johnson. Johnson was an acclaimed poet. He was an essayist, a literary critic, a lexicographer, one who compiles dictionaries, biographer. This age is also called the age of enlightenment, age of reason, or the new classical age. Why was it called neoclassicism? It was neoclassicism was a child of age of reason, the enlightenment, when philosophers believed that we would be able to control our destinies by learning from and following the laws of nature. And United States was came into being because of this enlightenment philosophy. See, what were the characteristics? Some of the characteristics, not very much, but what characteristics are ascribed to neoclassical age? It was predominantly classical because all the style, all the writings, they were just like the classical age, but the signs of romantic spirit were emerging. Though we have predominance of the classical rules and style that they followed of ancient Greeks and Romans, but there was some influence of romantic movement which we see in the age of Johnson. Why was it significant? It was a time of transition and innovation in poetry because many of the poets were trying to be precursors of the romantic revival. So shift was there. That is why we call it age of transition as well. The age of Johnson was a part of neoclassical era, which lasted from 1660 to 1798. So the age of Johnson marked by the beginning of the shift from classical spirit to romantic spirit in English literature. The shift was marked by the publication of lyrical ballads, which I have already discussed with you. Number three, number four. See, I'm just going for a restoration period. Restoration was the time of literary revival. So literature was given prominence with the standardization of English language. English language was coming into force. It was a time of dramatic revival. Drama was revived with the reopening of theaters of after 18 years of closure under the Puritan government. In 1642, theaters in England were closed by Puritans. There was some, you can say, labels. There were some labels that were launched, or attack was launched against the profaneness of English stage. So they were closed by the Puritans. This period also marked the beginning of women performing on the English stage. See, it's very important. So the females have got the opportunity to have performances on the stage. Once Charles II was restored to the throne, women were no longer prohibited from appearing on the public stage. So women were also given prominence. I think feminism was coming into force, or it was appearing on the stage. The first woman who appeared on the stage was usually or legally on December 8, 1660 as Desdemona in Othello. You might have heard again about Shakespeare. He was one of the great dramatists, and Desdemona in Othello is one of the famous characters for her innocence and trust in Othello. She was performed. It is not known who was the actress, but there are certain labels, and some believe or some didn't. Who was the actress? It is not known, but the performance was certain. Now, some of the writers here are, we have William Wycherley. He has written The Country Wife. The Country Wife is a restoration comedy written by William Wycherley and first performed in 1675. It was a product of tolerant and early restoration period. The play reflects aristocratic and anti-Puritan ideology and was controversial for its sexual explicitness even in its own time. So you can from this very line you can gather something about why these the stage was closed by the Puritans. Puritan is a person who has very strict moral attitudes and who thinks pleasure is bad. Now, going for the next slide. See, Country Wife has some characters like Harry Horner. He's a wealthy London socialite who has a reputation of a great wit and notorious womanizer. Womanizer is one who has sexual relationships with different women. Uh, he had a reputation of being a womanizer. He spends rumor that he had caught some disease which is called venereal disease. So, venereal disease is one that is caught by the sexual contact, or it is an infection which is spread by the sexual contact. Then we have Margery. She's a young bride of Pinchwife and a titular country wife. She is seduced by the honor and eventually becomes his mistress when she oversmarts her husband. Here we have the women characters that are more, you can say that they are more advanced than their own times. Then Pinchwife is Margery's husband. He is obsessively jealous and is terrified being made to look fool or a reputation as a cuckold, a man whose wife has sex with another man. So these are some of the issues that I am pointing out why Puritans might have closed theaters. Then a very important slide, which is number 6. You have Samuel Pepys, the diary writer. It is asked everywhere in net. Every year we have some questions about Samuel Pepys, the best known diary writer of the age. He is best known for diaries written between 1660 and 1671. This is the definition by historicuk.com, but most trusted definition that he kept his diary from 1 January 1660, May 31, 1669. This is the trusted definition that I have taken from dictionary.com. So from 1660 to 1669 was the time period when Samuel Pepys wrote diary, and it is one of the influential documents as per the history, the life and society of England is concerned. We have to take a look at the diary. What are the events that he has captured in this diary? The diary is interesting document for the historians to be the source of how people lived at in the 17th century and about some major events that have taken place in the past. So it is not only important for the students of English literature, it is important for history writers. They have taken many sources how England was at that time. It is the eyewitness account of major events such as the coronation of Charles II in 1660, the Great Fire of London, and the Great Plague. On 1st January 1660, Samuel Pepys made his first entry in diary. One most important eyewitness account given by Pepys describes the impact of Great Plague in London. See, I have discussed with you when I was dealing with Chaucer. I have discussed with you the Black Death. The plague was coming again and again in England, though it started in 1300s. The pandemic, the Black Death, it continued to outbreak on the Great Britain in 1590 to 1603, 1625, 1636, and lastly 1665, which he has taken cognizance of and which he has described in his diary. So this is one of the greater events or major events that he has discussed about. Uh, then we have Anglo-Dutch War, which is 1665 also. The Great Fire of London, 1666, claimed much of London's original architecture. So much of the architecture was broken down, or you can say it got burned down. And Samuel Pepys was writing the account. He was one of the observers. On the 2nd September, Pepys was awoken by one of his servants and he reported the Great Fire of London. Then he went to the London Tower and started writing and observing the events. See, the servant had reported to him that 300 homes had been burned down by the fire. So, not only this, but we have some more very important facts about the diary. He used Thomas Shelton's shorthand, a method probably used in work life for speed, and he had used some languages like Spanish, French, and Italian languages. This is only why he had used this kind of method in writing. And when you see his writings, you must go to net and see what he was writing and in which method he was writing. So this is only to save himself from being caught because he was having many extramarital affairs at the time, and he wanted to escape from the eyes of his wife. That is why he had written in Italian, French, Spanish, and he had used the shorthand. And he didn't want himself to be caught by the king as well. He wrote this in the notebooks 282 pages. See, sometimes he used the red ink. The diary first looks, it is just a kind of a puzzle for the readers at that time. But nowadays, it is very easy for all because everybody knows these tricks, and the material is available on the net. Pappy has used code for the privacy, and here we discuss that his if his wife wanted to read it, he she would have come across the extramarital affairs, and he wanted to conceal them from her. It is on 31st May 1669, Samuel Pepys stopped writing his diary. Why? Because the eye light or eyesight was fading. He was becoming blind. That is why he didn't continue. And some of the writers, some of the scholars have said that in 1687, 83, he had started writing it again, though he might have made some entries, but these are not very much. So critics believe that 1660 to 1669 is the period when the diary was written or when the entries were made in the diary. So There is a writer nowadays, Deborah Swift. She's the author of the trilogy of novels, and these are the featuring one of women's depicted as Mr. Pepys diaries. Pleasing Mr. Pepys, A Plague of Mr. Pepys, and the third one is Entertaining Mr. Pepys. This is the trilogy of the novels written by Deborah Swift, and she's one of the influential authors nowadays. The last one is to 2019, which is published. The work of English writer and Gardner. Then we have John Elwyn. Of it is his diary is also of a great historical value. His most famous work, his diary, which he kept throughout his life, is considered a valuable document or information on more than 50 years of social, cultural, religious, and political life in 17th century England. So John Elwyn was also important writer. Then we come to Jeremy Collier, because I'm discussing in short these writers and their contribution to literature. Collier's short view of profaneness and immorality of English stage, published in 1698, signaled the public opposition. Yes, signaled the public opposition to the real or fancied improprieties of plays staged during the previous 3 decades. This is a reference to why these theaters might have been closed. See, Collier, in his introduction, writes, "The business of play is to recommend virtue and discontinuance of vice." So, this is why these theaters might have been closed. Then we come to the another influential writer, number 8, John Dryden, who is also one of the influential writers as per he is included in the syllabus of I.E.H.E. An influential poet, literary critic, translator, playwright, and he established heroic couplet. You might also be knowing what heroic couplet is. I have also discussed heroic couplet here. His Macflacon is a satire upon the true blue Protestant poet. This is the real title, Macflacon, or a satire upon the true blue Protestant poet, is a verse mock heroic written or satire written by John Dryden. It is a direct attack on Thomas Shadwell, written about 1678 but not published until 1682. So Dryden is also one of the important writers. When it comes to restoration, Dryden had played a great role in restoration of English drama. A heroic couplet actually is a rhyming couplet, a pair of lines with end rhymes in iambic pentameter, meaning there are 5 feet of each line, the stressed, unstressed, followed by a stressed syllable. Then we have a very important work, All for Love. You might all be knowing All for Love. It's a tragedy written in blank verse about a conflict between love and reason, or reason and love. It is Dryden's best known play. See, actually, this All for Love is based on Antony and Cleopatra by Shakespeare. Then we have Annus Mirabilis. It's a poem written in 1666 to commemorate the Year of Wonders. Why I am writing Year of Wonders here? Because Isaac Newton, aged 23, had made some notable inventions and discoveries in calculus, motion, optics, and gravitation. Science students might be knowing it, and if you want further explanations, you can go to Newton's law of motion. Fables, Ancient and Modern. This is again another work, Ancient Emperor. I'm just going by reading the names. The Aeneid, Religio Leci, or a Layman's Faith. Then the very important one is of dramatic poesy, or which we called the dramatic poesy by John Dryden. Very important as per NET is concerned. See, during the interregnum period, which is absence of the government or suspense of the government suspended during this period, when Oliver Cromwell was there, English theatres were closed by the Puritans for religious and ideological reasons. And now, when Dryden came to the stage, he wrote dramatic poesy. Dryden's claim in the essays poetic drama with English and Spanish influence is justifiable form of art when we compare it to the traditional or French poetry. So he's in favor of English drama, especially English drama. John Dryden. The essay is a discussion. It's a kind of a dialogue that we have between four characters, and I have included these four characters here in detail. It's a dialogue form, ancients versus moderns. One of the characters is Kreitz. He favors ancients while Eugenes favors the moderns. These are the two characters I have mentioned. And the discussion is ancient drama and modern drama, and ancient writers or modern writers. Then we have one of the issues, which is unities in drama, unity of time, unity of place, and unity of action. They discuss and debate over the issue. Then French versus English drama. Lesidius favors French drama, while Neander, Dryden himself, favors English drama. Then we have separation of tragedy and comedy. What we see that comedy and tragedy, they must be separated from each other. One is serious and one is well. So there must be separation. This is one of the discussions around there. Appropriateness of rhyme, one of the issues debated. Dryden is considered the founder of descriptive criticism in English and is sometimes called the father of English criticism. See, Dryden is very important. And see the next slide, number 10. Now, number 10. First, you go to yes, number 10. We have Eugenes, a character in essay, a dramatic poesy, an essay on dramatic poesy written by Dryden. Eugenes in this essay expresses his views about the various types of playwrights and their plays. So he is discussing plays and playwrights, and he is represented, or he represents Lord Buckhurst, Charles Sackville, the patron of John Dryden. So this is the real man who is represented by Eugenes. Then we have Critus. He argues in favor of ancients and says that they established the unities. They followed the dramatic rules which were laid down by Aristotle and Greeks. And according to him, Ben Jonson is the greatest of the all playwrights because he follows these ancients. He represents Robert Howard. Then we have Lesidius, argues that French drama is superior to English drama, basing this opinion of the French writers are close to the adherents of classical, the separation of comedy and tragedy. What Lesidius feels that English drama, he argues that French drama is more important, more influential. It is more close to all the rules. So it is more important to him. For Lesidius is represented by what which kind of a man he represents? He represents Charles Sedley. So these are the four characters, and these are the discussions that they have. And then we have Neander, Dryden himself. He favors the modern English plays, but does not disagree the ancients. What he says, he also favors the English drama and has some critical things to say about French drama. Those beauties of the French poesy are such as will raise perfection higher where it is. So English, if English are imitating French, it is important that they must, but are not sufficient to give it where it is not. So there is importance of change he wants to stress. So here we can say that transition was taking place, and transitional age which Dryden stresses by this sentence is coming or has come. The four speakers are Sir Robert Howard, Critus. Sir Robert Howard is Critus. Then I have given the definition of who he was. Then Charles Sackville, Lord Buckhurst. It is Eugenus. Then Dryden himself is in Neander. Neander actually means the new man. So Dryden himself is the new man or Neander. Then we have All for Love. See, All for Love or Dryden, what he says in All for Love. Some themes are the passion, All for Love, which is one of the important plays and must be in the syllabus of I.E.H.E. We have it in I.E.H.E. This is the most important theme in the play, and what keeps Cleopatra and Antony in a magnetic pull towards one another entire time is the passion. They fall in love with each other, Antony and Cleopatra, and they are just going outside the reason, and love has taken all from them. So this time was when excessive love was shown in the or absurdness of love was shown in these dramas. All for Love is one such drama that we have. Then we have number next, the political ramifications of love. If you see politically the love affair between Antony and Cleopatra, how it had taken the toll of both of them, and how it had affected the politics. Antony's love affair for Cleopatra has led him to abandon not only his family but his country, and he has wreaked havoc on his political reputation. See, what are the consequences of love that he has for his Cleopatra. He has abandoned family. He has left his country. He had no sense of duty. Love had made him all empty. So the reputation as a politician is going down. Manipulation and persuasion. Many of the characters seek to manipulate and or persuade one another in different ways. Then you go for these characters and see how this theme is working in this drama. Time and time again, Alexis comes up with the plots to keep Cleopatra and Antony together, manipulating information in order to ensure the union. Indeed, Ventidius does this also, persuading Antony that Dolobella and Cleopatra are having an affair when they are not. So manipulations are there, and they are just kind of empty people. They are just looking at their own gains. That is what Dryden wants to show. Then power. The power concerns the two influential leaders, Antony, a Roman leader, and Cleopatra, the queen of Egypt. Both of these rulers are, you can say, laden with power. They have power because they belong to the sects, they belong to the sections that employs power and that has power. Then jealousy. It is in a last-ditch effort to win Antony back. Cleopatra takes Alexis' advice and makes an attempt to make him jealous. She judges that jealous love is not as pure as real love. So jealousy is also there. It is working in the mind, or they are taking advantage by this. Then we have death. By the end of the play, both Cleopatra and Antony choose death over life apart. Antony commits suicide under the false belief that Cleopatra is dead. Then, seeing that Antony has killed himself, Cleopatra chooses to kill herself rather than face Caesar and his potential mercy. So, death is one of the important themes, and at the end, we see many deaths occurring at the stage. Duty. I must say that it is the ignorance of the duty that we have in this drama. One of the main ways that Antony's advisors try to convince him to leave Egypt is by invoking the importance of duty. They often tell him that he needs to give up his individual romantic freedom in order to do what is best for Rome, but he is unable to pull himself away because love has made him blind and mindless. He is not seeing the duty that is imposed upon him as a king. He is not looking at the responsibility that he must have performed. So love is igniting in his mind, and he just wants Cleopatra. That is what he abandons the duty for. Then we have some characters like Antony, the major general or successful Roman general. Then Cleopatra, the queen of Egypt. Then we have Octavia or Dolabella, then Ventidius, then Serapion, Alexis. I'm just pointing out these characters. I have given the details. You can read them at your home. Then we have the play All for Love is based on true events because it's a historical play. It is based on true events. All the characters you see in most of them, they are historical figures. You have to look at the history. You will find Antony the Cleopatra. You will find many of the characters that we have in the drama. They are real life figures. Then All for Love 1667 77, it is based on Antony and Cleopatra. It is based on and written in blank verse. I have discussed blank verse in previous session or lecture when I was discussing Chaucer. It's a tragedy written in blank verse, and it is an attempt on Dryden's part to reinvigorate serious drama. He wanted serious drama to come back to the English stage. All for Battle. The subtitle of the in this is The World Well Lost. See the subtitle of the drama, The World Well Lost. Then we have it was performed on the stage. Dryden's first heroic drama, The Indian Queen, 1664, was a joint effort with Robert Howard. His other heroic plays were Tyrannical Love or Tyrannic Love, 1669, The Conquest of Granada, 1670, then Amboyana, 1673, and Aurangzeb, 1675. Now, I have just tried to make it clear to you what heroic drama is. It's a kind of a tragedy or tragic comedy that came into vogue with the restoration of English monarchy in 1660. So this is the time period when heroic drama was written and published or written and performed, influenced by French classical tragedy and its dramatic unities. It aimed at epic, thus heroic grandeur, usually by the means of bombast, high-sounding language with little meaning, used to impress people. This is the meaning of the bombast. So they use the bombast to impress the people. Exotic settings originating in or uh, characteristic of a distant foreign country. This is the meaning of exotic setting. And the lavish scenery, sumptuously rich, elaborate, or luxurious scenery. That is what heroic dramas present. We have some important writers. You must all be knowing. You must have heard about these writers. One of the very first one is Jonathan Swift. You must be remembering. I have taught Gulliver's Travels to you in very first year. Remembered for the works such as A Tale of a Tub, 1704. These are the titles. Gulliver's title. These Jonathan Swift's titles are very humorous when we read them. An argument against abolishing Christianity. It is 1712. Gulliver's Travels. It is 1726, and A Modest Proposal. I have included some of his writings in here. He is regarded by Encyclopedia Britannica as foremost prose satirist in English language. So this is the tribute paid to him by Encyclopedia Britannica. His use of irony, satire, humor, exaggeration, or ridicule, he uses it to express and expose and criticize the stupidity or vices that the humans were having at that time. Uh, there are three satires which I have given a definition. Menippean satire focusing on the attitudes of people. Horatian satire, it focuses on human behavior and its paradoxes. Juvenal satire commonly targets social conventions and mindsets. So these are three satires, and when it comes to satire, these three satires might be there. One of these three, or one of them may be there. Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift was published in 1726. It was published in four parts, and each had a voyage. The first one is a voyage to Lilliput. Gulliver's Travels, a voyage to Lilliput. It contains eight chapters. This very first one contains eight chapters, and the first one, Gulliver is the only survival of the shipwreck. Ship has drowned, and he came to the Lilliput. Then he met some people which are only 6 inches. This is approximately 15 centimeters tall. He is then taken to the capital, and eventually released. The Lilliputians are small size mirrors. Their small mindedness. If you see the mind, if you see the size of these people, it symbolizes that their mind is small. So through them, Gulliver is satirizing the country. Gulliver is satirizing the system at that time. Part 2, A Voyage to Brobdingnag. It also contains eight chapters. The second is to Brobdingnag, a land of giants, where the Gulliver seems as small as that big he seems to the Lilliputians. Gulliver is afraid here, but his keepers are significantly or surprisingly gentle. He is humiliated by the king when he is made to see the difference between how England is and how England ought to be. So the proper reference is to what England should be at that time, and what kind of political system must be working, or the societal system must be working in England at that time. But he is very much surprised by uh, looking at these people. Then we see A Voyage to Laputa, Balniburni, Lugnag, Glubdubdrib, and Japan. It contains 11 chapters, and we see here these people, or these things. Gulliver's ship is attacked by the pirates, and he's marooned close to the desolate rocky island and near India. When we see the fourth one, which is A Voyage to the Land of Houyhnhnms. It contains 12 chapters. The fourth part, Gulliver visits the land of Houyhnhnms, a race of intelligent horses who are cleaner and more rational and benevolent. They have most telling early, no words for deception or evil. What he means to say that these characteristics that the writer has discussed here, they all are in humans, and these intelligent horses don't have any kind of greed. They don't have any kind of filthiness in their mind. They are not degenerated humanoids. And you see the yahoos who are humans, but they are ruled by the horses. See what kind of satire he is aiming at, what he wants to say through these things. Then we have more important writings of a modest proposal. uh, then what he wants to say, the humanity of the poor, or Swift's central satire strategy frames Ireland's poor as mere economical data. His purpose was to make it evident that these poor people are also humans. Then we see the characters, but I'm not just discussing them. One of the great themes in the Swift's Tale of a Tub is madness of pride involved in believing that one's own age is supreme. and inferiority, that others are inferior, my age is supreme, and other age is inferior. One of the attacks in the tale was on those who believe, being readers of the books, it makes them equals of the creators of the works. What people believed, that by reading a book we become the authors, or we become equalized figures like authors. A Tale of a Tub is a prose satire by Jonathan Swift. It was written between 1696 and 1699. It was published anonymously in 1704, and it was expanded in 1710. See, I have just given you a data, one of the writings, lives of eminent English poets. See, you must read these figures. These are all included in the lives of eminent English poets or English poets by the writer. Then we have again. I come to the tale of a tub. It comprises the tale itself, the allegory of the Reformation in the story of brothers Peter, Martin, and Jack. Then we have another important figure, Daniel Defoe, his Robinson Crusoe. This novel is considered one of the most resonant myths in many works. Robinson Crusoe. This is considered one of the greatest novels. We have Moll Flanders, a journal of the plague year. Rosanna tore through the whole island of Great Britain, and then many others, other writings that I have included in this. And Daniel Defoe was the master of plain prose and powerful narrative. If you go to the history, you will find that Robinson Crusoe is thought to be very first novel in English, and it is based on the true event. Though there are some labels made by the critics against it, they say that actually he has forged the data of some people. Then we have the Augustan period, which lasted 1700 to 1750, was the time of neoclassical literature in English literature. Here we have an important figure, 1688, 1703. I have discussed it is, though it is in the previous age, before Augustan age. We have Alexander Pope. Alexander Pope was from the Roman Catholic family. He's not of the Augustan age, but he's from the neoclassical age as a poet, because he died 1744. So his Rape of the Lock, which is one of the greatest figures or greatest English literary works, as mock heroic poem. The first version was published in 1712, which consisted of only two cantos. Canto is a section. The lines, some lines made a section which we called canto. The final version, published in 1714, was expanded to five cantos. So there is a revision of the Rape of the Lock being made by Alexander the Pope. Pope wrote the Rape of Lock in response to the request that was made by one of his friends called John Carroll. He was a prominent Roman Catholic of the time. See, Carroll explained to him that Lord Peter had cut a lock of hair of Arabella Fermor. Then Alexander Pope wrote this Rape of the Lock, and he satirizes both the obsession with the physical appearance, which was the characteristic of ladies, which is shown in Belinda and trivial matters by the people of 18th century England. You can see how he highlights this very trivial matter to the heights by making it mock heroic. The title of the poem tells exactly what happens in the poem. Just a minute. Then we have the Rape of the Lock by Alexander Pope. If you just see, there are characters like Belinda. She is the protagonist, the main character, the beautiful young woman. And Pope says, when Belinda smiled, all the world was gay. So this is how he uses the poetry as mock heroic. The Baron, a member of the lowest order of the British nobility. Then Ariel, the guardian self, the Thalestris, Umbriel, About Umbriel, he says he collects the bag of sighs, sobs, and passions from the cave of Zeppelin and dumps it over Blenda and Thalestris. See what Queen of Zeppelin is, a personification of spleen who bestows hysteria, melancholy, and bodily dysfunction of women. Then we have Clarissa. She becomes the friends. She helps Baron to cut the log of fear. Then Carroll, based on John Carroll, a true figure. The poem was first published in 1712, 13, though it was written in 12. And then final, it was 1770, 17. In The Rape of the Lock, Pope skillfully and artistically used this his machinery actually is the supernatural that he uses. I have just included some of the important details about what machinery according to him is. A term is invented by the critics to signify the part which deities, angels, or demons play in the poem. You must have heard about machinery, or you must have heard about the supernatural elements who play roles in or intervene in the lives of the people. He goes on to say that machinery in poem is based on Rosicrucian doctrine of the spirits, in which four elements are inhabited by sylphs, nymphs, gnomes, and salamanders. I have just tried to you just visualize the pictures who these things are. You go to the 24. See gnomes, very first figure in a red cap. Then salamander. Then we have a nymph. Then we have sylph. So these are the figures that play their part in and why he has introduced machinery in, or why he had introduced such things in a mock heroic epic. It would have been incomplete, I think, if these might not have been included. Mock heroic works often feature a fool as a hero or exaggerate heroic qualities to the point of absurdity. You can see this kind of thing in Baron. Then around 1711, Pope made friends with Tory writers Jonathan Swift, Thomas Parnell, and John Arbuthnot, and they together formed the Scribblers Club. This is one of the clubs they were in. They were just participants of. They were the candidates included in this figure or members of this figure. Its main aim was to satirize ignorance and pedantry, excessive concern with minor details and rules. This was one of the qualities of the century when he was writing. So, through the fictional scholar Martinus Scribblus, they have included or they have invented this character to satirize the community. The major prose writers of this include Jonathan Swift, Joseph Addison, Richard Steele, Samuel Johnson. Samuel Johnson was probably the last of the writers of this age. Other prose writers we see James Boswell, Edmund Burke, Edward Gibbon. I have not included them wholly and solely, but I have just tried to give you some of the details. These were the writers that were included. Then we have some periodicals. This is most important. All the students, please pay attention to this very section. Periodicals. Richard Steele, under the pen name Isaac Bickerstap, enquired or published the Tatler, which is from 1709 to 1711, and it was a British literary and social commentary journal that ran from 1709 to 1712 and was produced and has produced almost 271 issues. Editor was Richard Steele and Joseph Addison, and publication was London. And it appeared on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Next, we have The Spectator, which was daily publication founded by Joseph Addison and Richard Steele in England, lasting from 1711 to 1712. It ran from March 3rd, 1711 to December 6th, 1712. It comprised of 55 issues in all. And you can see number next is the Guardian. I have made all the efforts to put all the details into it, but we have a very less time, and writings in this age were very enormous. The Guardian was one which we lived very short. It was a newspaper published in London from 12 March to 1 October 1713. It was founded by Richard Steele, featured contributions
So
from
you are
Joseph.
not audible.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes. So the Guardian is the next one. It was a newspaper. It was published in London. See, we have Joseph Edison, Thomas Tickell, Alexander Pope, George Berkeley, and Ambrose Phillips. These are some of periodicals of the time. Then we have the Freeholder or Political Essays, London. It was printed midwinter, and J. Thompson, Old Whig. It was 1719 by Joseph Edison. Then we have the Rambler, which was a periodical publication in English literature that ran from 1750 to 1752. It was published from London twice a week, Tuesdays, Saturdays, from March 20, 1750 to March 4, 1752. See, the major poets of Augustan age, we have Thomas Gray, we have Samuel Johnson, we have Samuel Johnson also. See, Thomas Gray. Gray was a self-critical writer who published only 13 poems in lifetime, but he was very much influential. Thomas Gray was born on December 26, 1716. 30 July 1771, he died. And he was a letter writer, classical scholar, Cambridge University scholar, and being a fellow first of Peterhouse, then Pembroke College. He's widely known for his elegy written in country churchyard. Uh, he takes it a challenge and commemorates the lives of the common people. The poem examines the themes of life and death and status and natural world as speaker contemplates on life and death of the poor and rich while also reflecting on his own morality. Then we have Ode on a Spring. These are some of the writings that he has comprised. Then Oliver Goldsmith. He is very much influential for his essays collection The Season of the World, the novel Vicar of the Wakefield, then the plays The Good Natured Man, She Stoops to Conquer, and poetry collections Traveller, The Prospect of Society, an elegy on the death of Mad Dog, and so on. There are so many writings. William Cowper. Cowper changed the direction of 18th century nature poetry by writing of everyday life. So here you can see Cowper was signaling some transition. Then, in many ways, he was one of the forerunners of romantic poetry. Samuel Taylor Coleridge called him the best modern poet. Wellist William Wordsworth particularly admired his poem Yardley Oak. So you can see he was signaling towards the transition of the age, which was going towards romantic period. Then we have poems he has written. We have another writer that is called George Grape. And lastly, I come to Samuel Johnson. Samuel Johnson is also he's known poet of the age. He's known figures of the age. Uh, Early works include the life of Mr. Richard Savage, the poems London and Vanity of Human Wishes, and the play Irne. After 9 years of his effort, Johnson completed Dictionary of English language, and it is believed that he had contributed greatest number of words to English language. You see, 9 years of complete effort that he had made for English language. How many words he would have contributed to? And it was 1757, 59, 50, 5. Dictionary of English Language, 1755. Johnson's dictionary was the first modern English dictionary and leading English dictionary until Oxford English Dictionary was published in year 1900s. So it is believed that 40,000 words were included in English language by this effort which Johnson made. So he is a very, very important figure. As I have told you about the lives of English poets, it is his work, Lives of English Poets, which I have given data in the previous when I included some table in my writing or in my presentation. So he had written biographies of different critical personals or poets, and they are thought to be 52 in number, mostly from 18th century. He included these lives, and there are many people he has dealt with. Samuel Johnson, he had written these things, and then if we see that when it comes to age, when when we have end to this very lecture, because Samuel Johnson, I think, was the last poet or last figure who remained active till 1785 or 1780s. Then when we come to 1780s, in 85, 89, we have the most influential figure on the stage, that was Wordsworth and other romantic poets and romantic writers. With this, I conclude my lecture.